Greetings. There were two resounding best practices that I identified during my research: communication and collaboration. These two were consistently mentioned in the articles that I read. They also fit very well in my personal learning theory, which is that learning is a lifelong process. Communication with teachers and students has evolved tremendously. Blogs, Twitters, Facebook, Blackboard are just a few modes of communication that we use to teach and learn. Some of those tools also offer real-time feedback for collaboration of ideas and suggestions. They also give the student an opportunity to present projects to the teacher for measurement. One of the theories noted in the reading was the six-box model, which is the framework developed by the American analyst Marvin Weisbord, and he used it to assess the function of organizations. The six-box model also incorporates corporate collaboration and communication, and its elements enable planning, partnerships, and performance assessment. Anthony Picciano and noted in one of his works that we've been reading throughout the course that constructivism draws on the vast experience of learners, and applying this to instructional technology translate into presenting problems and learning situations which the learner can relate, as well as providing the material, media, and information resources needed to solve problems. The things noted by Picciano also incorporate or capture communication and collaboration. Students will need those two elements, or the teacher per se will need those two elements to help the student carry out the things that Picciano mentioned. Another thing to note about the social constructivist framework is that they guide collaborative learning because of its emphasis on cultural and social contexts. Sobq, which is the author of one of our modules for our course reading, mentioned that interaction, sense of community, social presence, critical thinking, and deep learning are constructs that have been identified as crucial measurements of the quality and effect of learning online and teaching. These two best practices are extremely important because adult learners, they need to practice communication skills, not only to become better students and progress through the course, but also to be effective workforce leaders. The collaboration piece, it just seems inherent for adult learners because typically they usually will work with each other, fellow students, to get clarification, work on projects, or ask for assistance to get the information, even without prompting from the facilitator. So typically that's something that they would normally do, and both are incorporated into the course by design. So I think these best practices are important to note, as are dozens more, but I intend to obtain a good working knowledge so that I can use these practices in my workplace and in the future. What I thought was interesting was that if you look at it from a spiritual aspect, Jesus uses the Holy Spirit to communicate with us, to remind us of previously learned principles. So we're communicating, but then on the collaboration aspect, he allows us to work with him, to draw others to Christ based on the things that we've applied in our lives. So I got a lot from these two best practices.